Hey friends, Frankie and Brad here in Casper's Kitchen where we cook music. I got a viewer's request today. This comes some time back and I want to apologize to the viewer. We just overlooked it. It was at a time where we were focusing on lighting and doing studio work, but this particular viewer happens to be a friend of mine, Vito Rincones, if I'm pronouncing your name right, Vito. I worked with this gentleman for about 5 years in the cable and data industry, and great friend. And he sent us a request, and he said, Frankie, would you explain what a riff is and give some examples of riffs? And quite honestly, I'm just not a good enough guitar player to go through that, but now Brad is. So Brad's going to show you what a riff is, going to explain some examples of how to use them. Vito also asked that we would include some songs that had good riffs or something that we considered good riffs. So Vito, this is for you. Brad?
Yeah, Vito, there are actually two kinds of riffs. You've got your lead riff, which I will demonstrate. And then you have your rhythm riff. Now, you probably heard everybody recognizes Whole Lot of Love, Led Zeppelin, and that riff right there is probably one of the most recognizable riffs in rock.
That's true.
But that's a rhythm riff. You probably hear more rhythm riffs than lead riffs. Since I don't really play copy music anymore, the band I'm with, I write for them, so a lot of riffs I identify with are just riffs from our own songs. Now here's a riff from one of our songs. It's a rhythm riff. That's just one example of a rhythm riff. You know, when I first started learning how to play lead, I used the old standard box method, meaning that if you're playing an A chord, you're playing in that box of that chord, which is how most people actually start out learning how to play lead. I loved reading an article, this was probably in the late 60s, by Jeff Beck, when they asked him about his lead style. And he talked about this box, that he tried to stay away from it, because if you play your leads in the box style, you're probably going to play them like that all the time. And Jeff Beck said, try to hear rhythm, try to hear a melody that's not in that box. And today I think that one of the best melody writers for lead guitar was Randy Rhoads.
Wow.
You know, after Randy Rhoads passed away, I read an article that Paul McCartney said his son James would often bring one of his favorite albums downstairs and play it on the good stereo system. And McCartney said he was not a big Ozzy fan, but he remembered his son playing one of his albums on his really good stereo. And he said for a week or two he was humming this song in his head, and he couldn't figure out where did I hear this? I really like it, but what is it? he said the next time his son played that album, an Ozzy album, it was actually the guitar solo he was humming. So that, he said that's when he realized that Randy had a real gift for creating his own melody, like a song within a song. And there's a lot of ways you can get out of playing in that box. Just try to think outside, not trying to play within the box. My suggestion is always try to hear something that's not conventional guitar lead. Most of your guitar leads are but if you can think outside of that box and come up with your own melody, which is not easy, you're probably going to enjoy listening to it more than you would if you're just copying the same run out of the boxes. And actually that goes same with playing rhythms. There's a lot of different ways. Different ways you can approach any rhythm. You just have to explore all your options. Don't try to that's the House of the Rising Sun. If you listen to the version by Toto, you will be amazed at what they did with that simple rhythm right there. They
rearrangements.
They rearranged it, and to me, it's the best version I've ever heard. So if you get a chance, check it out by Toto. But that just shows you to think outside the box. You know, don't think you have to play everything.
What is the guitarist's name? Do you know? And Toto, the lead guitar player?
Steve Lukather.
Yeah, he is hilariously funny. He's been doing a lot of interviews in the last few years, and he's got some great stories, really good stories.
Yeah, he's a really good guitar player, and the album, I can't remember the name. They did all these covers, and they kind of did them their own way, and they're all really good, but that one song, for such a simple, easy song to play, they made it their own, and it really sounded good.
Well, what else, Brad?
Well, like I say, rhythm, there's a lot of different things you can do. That's one of the songs on our first album. Actually, I've had more people that of course have heard our CDs have asked me about this song called Falling in Love, and I'm just going to play a little bit of it and show you that you don't have to do everything simplified. just an example of thinking outside the box, not playing everything that is supposed to be A, E, or F and G. As far as the lead goes, try not to stay in the box that we talked about earlier. Just think outside. Always try to hear something, not playing it, and sometimes it's when you're not even really thinking about it. You'll hear a melody and go, that's what I'm supposed to be playing. Just a lot of ways you can approach rhythm and lead, but my suggestion is think outside the box.
You were doing something there, the squeals when you're hitting the what do you call it, the pinching, that. Yeah. Pinch harmonics. That's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but once you get the feel, it's a way you have to hit it with your pick and your finger resting on the string.
That's nice, sweet. Wow.
So enjoy your journey working through your many riffs, because, like I say, lead riff and rhythm riffs are what it's all about.
Well, Vito, that's it from us. Thank you for your request. We appreciate you. As all of you out there, please subscribe to our site. Give us a thumbs up, and we need your subscriptions to help grow. And as always, you have a great day, and we really do appreciate your time. Thanks.